Good morning and welcome back to Deb's True Crime Notebook. We have more documents. This one is from the state. Nick is asking where's the proof and asking the court to approve his motion in Limine. State of Indiana, County of Carroll, State of Indiana versus Richard M. Allen. State's response to defendant's memorandum of law. Now comes the state of Indiana by prosecuting attorney Nicholas C. McClellan and respectfully responds to the defendant's memorandum of law in support of admission of evidence of alternative theories of the crime and third-party perpetrators. The legal issue involved was previously articulated both in the state's motion in Limine and in the state's opening statement at the August 1, 2024 hearing. In order to present evidence in the relation to a third party at trial, the defense must show a direct material connection between third party and the crime. The connection must be based on more than hearsay, speculation, rumors, conjecture, or theory. It must be based on reliable evidence that draws a material connection between the party and the crime. The Indiana Supreme Court summed up this long-standing principle as follows. In the context of third-party motive evidence, these rules are grounded in the widely accepted principle that before evidence of the third party is admissible, the defendant must show some connection between the third party and the crime. Pelley v. State, 901 NE 2D 494 at 505 Indiana 2009. The defense, in several hours of presentation of evidence supplemented by numerous documents and depositions, failed to present any evidence that links Odinism, Brad Holder, Patrick Westfall, or any of the individuals listed in the state motion in Limine to these murders. A case cited by the defense in the memorandum is very instructive. The case, coincidentally named Allen v. State, 813 NE 2D 349, Indiana Court Appellate 2004, involved a robbery and triple murder at an Osco drugstore in South Bend. The Court of Appeals ruled that it was reversible error not to allow the testimony of a witness, Bethel, regarding a third-party suspect, Crenshaw. Bethel testified outside the presence of the jury to the following, that he and Crenshaw had caused or cased the Osco store several days before the murders in anticipation of robbing it, that Bethel, on the very morning of the murders, observed Crenshaw only blocks away from the Oscos and coming from the direction of the Oscos, and then heard Crenshaw say he had just got some money and people were killed. That Crenshaw paid cash for hotel rooms that evening following the robbery, and finally, on the evening of the murders, Crenshaw told Bethel that the situation of Osco's had gone bad and 3 people were killed. 813 NE 2D at 362. In Joyner v. State, 678 NE 2D 386, Indiana 1997, the Indiana Supreme Court ruled that it was error not to allow third-party evidence regarding a co-worker of the murdered victim. However, the excluded evidence that would have been admissible at trial consisted of proof that the third-party suspect was married and having an affair with the victim, had sexual relations with the victim the evening before her disappearance, had argued with her the day of her appearance, was tardy to work the day after her disappearance, had falsified this time card the day of her disappearance, and was 98% matched to the hair found inside of the plastic bag found over the victim's head when her body was discovered, hair that had been determined not to belong to either the victim or the defendant. By contrast, as the August 1st hearing demonstrated, the defense only offered up speculation supported by conjecture and buttressed by what-ifs, without evidence, material or otherwise, that these were ritualistic murders. The defense speculates that the various social media posts by Brad Holder suggest he could be interested in Odin-based rituals and, therefore, could be connected to the crime scene. Then the defense added the conjecture that since Elvis Fields and Holder have vaguely similar social media posts and both might have passing acquaintances, then adds a what if unsupported by evidence. For example, What if the crime took place on the following day in order to get around the inconvenient fact that Holder has an alibi for the time when the murders, according to the police investigation, occurred? The defense continues down this path of speculation as it relates to other individuals listed in the motion in Limine, failing to tie any of the individuals to the crime. The state further showed, through irrefutable evidence, that none of the third parties suspected listed by the defense were in the area of the crime scene on the day of the murders, and that none of them had any ties to the crime scene. The state was able to show that there was no material connection between Odinism, Brad Holder, Elvis Fields, Patrick Westfall, Johnny Messer, and the murders. Merely because law enforcement in the days, weeks, and months following the murders pursued and followed up on various tips, rumors, and theories does not mean that the trier of the facts should be misled, confused, or distracted by tips, rumors, and theories unsupported by admissible evidence. As the August 1st hearing made clear, the probative value of the third-party evidence offered by the defense is greatly outweighed by unfair prejudice, confusion of the issues, and the potential to mislead the jury. Indiana Evid R. 408. Therefore, the widely accepted principle, Pelley cites, should be applied. 901 NE 2D at 505. Wherefore, the state requests the court to grant the state's motion in Limine in regard to third-party evidence proffered by the defense and for all other just and proper relief in the premises. Respectfully submitted, Nicholas C. McClellan, prosecuting attorney. Well, that's what we have so far today. And I'm just giving fair notice to the state, the defense, and any other attorneys that want to pop in here on this case. I'm leaving on vacation tomorrow, and I won't be back until September 3rd. So can we hold off on any documents until then? Just kidding. I'm going to take my laptop with me, so I'll do my best to cover everything that I can for you guys as it comes out. We'll see you next time on Deb's True Crime Notebook. And if you could, like, subscribe, ring the bell for all notifications, leave us a comment, and don't forget to share this video in your groups and with some friends.